And we are live. I think. Yes, we are. Hey, everybody. I can see that we already have some viewers, so welcome all. Say hello in the chat. I have also configured the chat to be in the... Which corner is that? Is it that corner? Yeah, that corner. There is a chat there. Yeah, I am just finishing configuring my GitHub for the project, and you will probably be able to access the Git. And the sandwiches have arrived. I will be eating while I code. So sorry about that if you are offended by me eating, but a man's gotta eat. So let's wait a couple of minutes for people to start joining, and we're gonna continue the project where we left off. Yeah. So, yeah, just say hi in the chat. Shout out from where you are. That's very interesting to see where people are coming from. And okay, I guess if anything, people can just watch it on the VOD if they are interested. So let's go to the computer. And this is exactly where we left off last time. So just a recap of what we have done. We have made the URL shortener, so it actually shortens the URLs. It actually redirects to the original URL when you reach the website. And it also displays a list of already shortened URLs. Yeah. Okay, so let me launch my Docker because that is not running and we need that for the database. Here is the terminal. And for that, let's do a docker compose upd. The database is running. And we can continue. Yeah, I wonder why it's not picking up that Git, because Git is already at the latest status. Let's update the master. All files are up to date. Perfect. And let's see what we've got. Yeah, so let's try and launch the application. Let's do a Control D. The application is launching. And let's go to localhost 8080. So this is where we left off last time. So what are we missing? Let me think. Let me think what we are missing here. I probably should have planned this a little bit better. Oh yeah, we are gonna track some clicks. So let's do exactly that. For that, I will need a new entity that we are going to call, should we call it tracking entity? Tracking entity. Don't ask again. Cancel. There is hot swap. I don't need that. entity table name. That's going to be tracking. Let's add an ID attribute. Yeah, it already generates getters and setters. Let's do getter setter. And what do we need? We need a link to a resource. So that is going to have... I wonder if I should track this through a resource ID or if I should track that through short link. I think short link is probably a little bit better. So let's do that. Resource ID. No, not the resource ID. Okay, something entity that goes away. I don't want to call this a short URL. I had a better name in mind. This is gonna be... How are we gonna call this? A resource identifier, maybe? Nah. Anyway, we can always change that later. Let's just, again, not overcomplicate it. Now, there's one thing that a lot of people do is they actually do a many-to-one relationship. I don't want that because that can propagate really badly. So what I usually do is I just manually query all of those other entities. So this one is just going to be a not null. And we're going to leave it at that. We want to track some information of the people. So an IP address is probably a good thing to track. User agent also sounds pretty nice. And let's leave it at that. Soon we can add a country, which we will resolve through IP and other data. Okay, let's launch and see if this works. And we're gonna check out our MySQL database. I'm gonna refresh all. And we have our tracking information. Glorious. ID, IP, resource ID, user agent. So now we are going to write a service which actually populates this tracking. So let's do a new tracking service. Let's tag this as service and let's do public void track click, and we're gonna track. Actually, we do have a resource entity, so we can just do a resource entity, and we're gonna track this one. Hey, hello. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for watching. All right, so yeah, track click. We need a repository to be able to save that tracking. So we're gonna do tracking repository. This is a repository, extends JPA repository for tracking entity with long ID. Now let's inject that. Private final. Tracking repository. And we are going to create an entity and tracking entity. We forgot a builder as well as no args and all args constructor. Entity is going to build itself. Resource ID, we're gonna take that from resource entity, and I won't populate other things just yet. We can always add that later. Let's just do a proof of concept, and we're gonna return. Oh, this is void. Let's do a tracking entity return. Tracking repository, save, and then entity. So as you can see, that is quite simple, but this is all that we need to actually track. And of course, we need to call this method first. So back from last time, we had our root controller, I think. Yes, that has a short code and it resolves. So once it resolves the resource, let's do a tracking service, and then we do tracking service, track click, and let's pass in a resource because it takes that. And I think that's all for tracking. Let's check it out. So yeah, let me just first get the short URL. And if we put that in the address bar, that is going to redirect to my channel. By the way, yesterday's stream is already in the channel. Oh, and look, I am live and you can see that there are 3 people watching. Yay, that's lovely. Let's go back, and now if we open MySQL, I think that there should be... Yes. Okay, so we have a tracking entry, ID 1, resource ID 1. So now if we do a count by resource ID, then it should theoretically count all the clicks that were made on this resource. Of course, those columns are not indexed in any way yet because we don't have any migrations, but we're going to deal with that later. Right now, it's a small application and it's just a proof of concept. So let me just get another click tracked here, just so we have some data to play with. Yes, we have 2 entries. And I do realize that this can be quite small for you in the stream. For next time, I will see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Yes, and that's it for tracking. Now, last time I also made a list page. Right now we have 0 clicks hard-coded here, but we are going to code actual click count. Now let me think if I want that to be a subselect. Yeah, let's make it interesting. Let's go to resource repository. Or was it? Oh no, I have find all. So I find all resources, and now I'm gonna do another thing, this time with a custom query. We're gonna return a list of... wait, but I don't have a click count in the resource entity. So that is going to not work like I want to. Okay, let's try it the other way. Let's make another query from tracking entity this time. And I am going to... Yeah, but this is also going to need a custom object. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that is fine. I don't remember how to do that. JPA repository return custom object. I think it should map automatically, but we will see. Yeah, I think that's just very intuitive and out of the box. For that one, I will make another package. I will call it model, and I will name this model click statistics. And this one will have getter setter, of course, along with it's going to have a resource ID, and it is going to have a long click count. For now, that is it. Let's go to tracking repository and let's do a custom query. So this is going to return a list of statistics. How did I call it? Click statistics. And I'm going to call this find click statistics for a set of resource IDs. Now I'm gonna annotate that with a custom query. And beautiful thing with newer Javas is that can you do multi-line strings. I really love those. Right. We gotta do a... Actually, let me just open MySQL Workbench first. And let's make a custom query. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to use this link. I think that will work. And then I'm doing select. Select resource ID and count 1 from tracking group by resource ID. And I will also need a where resource. Actually, these uses underscores. Resource ID in 1. Yep, so this works. I can just copy this one, and of course this is not SQL yet, so I need a native query true. I don't always resort to native queries. I try to avoid them, but yeah, in this case, let's just try it with that. And here we are going to place some resource IDs. So hopefully this works. Let me try and go to my, what was it? List service, or we don't even have that one. Resource list controller. Yeah, we don't even have the thingy. So this is getting a little bit more complicated. For that, I will create a new service, and I'm gonna call this a URL list service. That's gonna be service. Of course, it's gonna inject some dependencies. And we're gonna need a resource repository, and we're gonna need a tracking repository. This is a list, or actually let me think. No, I want this to be a map of resource IDs and click statistics. Hey, welcome to the stream. Love from India. Thank you, thank you. All right, so yeah, maps are not that efficient for small data sets, but again, this doesn't really matter. We should not prematurely over-optimize. And retrieve, we're gonna call this retrieve click statistics for a, no, actually this is a full list. So I might want another object just for this one. Scratch that. Let me take a bite of a sandwich. Maybe I will think better. Okay, yeah, so let's create another model. Let's call this a resource list item. I'm gonna build this one myself, so no need for any crazy constructors. And this is going to have a resource entity. And it's click statistics. So we are just joining two things together. And now this is going to have a method which returns a list of resource list item. And we're going to call this get resources. Of course, get resources is probably not a good name because there are Java resources, but I guess it's generic enough. Okay, let's continue. Resource repository. Find all for now. We're gonna paginate that later. Resources. Now we need to extract the IDs from those. So let's do resources stream. And then we're gonna collect this one. Yeah, we're gonna collect a set and we're gonna map this one. Item get ID. We can make this into a lambda. And then we collect it to a set, and this can probably be simplified even more somehow. Resource IDs. And we're going to pass those resource IDs to our tracking repository. find click statistics. There we go, resource IDs. Click statistics. And then we are going to map a list of resources through a stream. We're gonna map that. Let's make a private list item. Resource list item. Create resource list item. We're gonna create that one from should this be a different method? I can always extract that method. Let's just do it here first. Resource, and we are mapping that to resource list item builder build, and we just need some setters here. So resource comes through and click statistics right now. Let's do click statistics dot get. Find click statistics. Is that a map? No, that's a list. Okay, let's first map this one into a map. Hey, hello again. Makaranata, hey, welcome back. What am I looking for? Collectors to map, and we're gonna use click statistics get resource ID for the key and function identity as a value. So click statistics is now a map. I need to remap my Mac shortcuts so that control space works. Object key is going to be resource get ID, and this should theoretically work. We're gonna do a to list, and that's what we return. So we don't even need a new method. URL list service. I think this should work. So let's try that out. Let's go to resource list controller. Let's import our list service. And let's do that URL list service. Get resources. Let's pass this one in as a, let's call this just list, I guess. Let's rename this one resource list. Actually, let's do that here also. Resource list, and then we need to change the view. So here it's going to be a resource list, and now this is going to be resource.id.blah blah blah, and instead of 0, this is going to be click statistics. I didn't rename the columns, did I? Click statistics. Yeah, resource ID and click count. So resource ID, that should be mapped, and this one should be named click count. I don't need an as here, but I could add, but I won't. I like this shorter syntax better. So let's get back to our list. Click statistics, click count. Let's try and recompile and see if it works. And of course, it errors out. Let's see where. Result class must have a single constructor. Click statistics. No args? Maybe that's the problem? Nope, still the same. With exactly 2 parameters. Okay, so this one needs an all args constructor instead of no args constructor. Great. It works. We can see that we have 2 clicks, and if I go ahead and do another click in another tab, you can see it open up there. I refresh it and we have 3 clicks. So that is all that it takes to make click tracking. Hey, Alexander. Hello. All right. So we are tracking the clicks. Now let's just commit that to Git. So this is what we've changed. Add click tracking. And we have committed the code. Cool. Okay, so what are we missing here? So last time I didn't make any pagination here. So if I continue shortening the URLs and it fills up with a lot of URLs, that's gonna slow me down. So I think right now I am going to implement that pagination. Yeah, let's shorten some more URLs. Let's go back to the home page. Whoops. Why did it Google that? I didn't want that. Let's shorten another URL, and that is going to be my main channel. It has been shortened. Ooh, well, that's interesting. So I am getting an exception. Property or field, click count cannot be found. Oh no, oh, okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. Because I have created a new shortened URL, it does not have any clicks yet, therefore it does not have anything in the database, therefore it does not produce any lines. So we can check that by doing the sim query. You can see that resource ID 1 has 3 clicks, but there's no resource ID 2. So where it craps out is, I think it craps out on the get property. these stack traces are very difficult to follow. Doesn't even highlight where my code is. Oh, and it's actually thime leaf that craps out. How do we do a shorter version of an optional variable? Okay, let's go into the list. Hey, I can see that we're getting more viewers. So welcome to the stream. We are doing a URL shortener as the title says. Okay, yeah. So it is crapping out right here. Let me see, thime leaf optional. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Optional arguments in thime leaf. That wasn't answered. Does this work? Maybe it won't. I don't know if the question mark is supposed to be on that side or the other side. Yeah, okay, cool. It worked, but now we are getting nothing here. So I would actually want a 0 if nothing is found. So let me just go ahead and go to my list service, URL list service, and right here it does not set any statistics, so I'm going to do a get or default. And let's make a new click statistic stub. No clicks, but we do need a resource ID here. So let's build, oh, we don't have a builder for that one. Let's just do a new click statistics. Oh, and it's actually an all args constructor even, so I can just return that. Don't you have 0 as default for clicks, so you can have 0 for all new records? No, that's because it's not selecting the clicks. So as you can see, if I query that, it does not create an entry for resource ID 2. So that is why it is crapping out. So basically, this click statistics map right here, it only contains a click for resources that do have clicks, and everything else is null. So I am going around that by stubbing it out like such. Just resource ID 0L clicks, because that's a long. And get or default, and default is no clicks for resource get ID. And now if I compile this one, we should be good. Yeah, so now it is 0. Whew. Okay, let's commit that to Git, because it is a nice iteration. Fix 0 clicks bug in resource list. Actually, let me do one thing. I want to open up a stream chat in another monitor so that it's not on my teleprompter so that I can see it faster. And chat overlay, no. Actually, let me just copy that from my OBS chat source. Bring my beautiful face back, and on the other screen I am going to open, let's make this smaller, location, chat is ready to display messages. Okay, so I should be able to see messages faster right now. Let's get back to the screen. And yes. Okay, where was I? So we are tracking those clicks, but we are not tracking the IP or user agent. So I should pass that in to my controller. So that is in the root controller. Actually, I want to move this out into a separate controller because root controller, that is not very self-explanatory what that does. URL resolve controller, I'm going to call this one. And I'm going to move this to this. And of course, we're going to get some dependencies. That's a controller, and that is a required args constructor. Let's inject those. And this should work. Yeah, okay. So in this resolver, let's pass in a request, but it's not a HTTP request. That's what I was looking for. And this should have all the necessary information about the user agent. So user agent is usually inside the header. So let me just put a breakpoint here, and we're going to inspect the request. So when I am resolving a URL, okay, now that's a new one. Unable to make protected HTTP requests. It's not open. Okay, so that's probably not the correct one. Was that a servlet? Servlet HTTP request? Is that it? Nope. Google to the help. Spring Boot get request in controller. HTTP request. HTTP servlet request. That is HTTP servlet request. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. That's the one I was looking for. Okay. Yep. Awesome. So we are stopping at the breakpoint. Request. Can we do a request get header? And that is going to be user agent. Yep. Awesome. So that is a user agent. Should I pass this down to resolve shortcode? Maybe. Let's pass it down to request. HTTP servlet request. I don't like passing big objects, but I guess this is gonna be simpler. Oh, okay, no, actually, this is not where I am logging the click. I'm actually logging a tracking here. So this is gonna make more sense now. Yeah, I'm a lot happier with this one. Track click. HTTP servlet request. We're gonna log the user agent through request get a header. Do we have like an object where they have predefined headers? Basic auth, form, client, cert. No. Okay, let's just do it like that. This is not gonna change anytime soon. This is a standard. It's fine to hard code it. And we also want to resolve IP. Get remote address. However, this thing, it is not going to work 100% of the time because the application is going to be behind some sort of a load balancer or Cloudflare or something. So the remote address is actually going to be off that load balancer. Well, at least that's usually the case that I've noticed. So the way this is done by attaching a custom header from the load balancer all the way down to the service. So we're not getting a remote address, we are getting a header. And that is going to be X original IP, I guess I'm going to call this one. Ooh, and another great thing to track would probably also be a referrer. So if somebody clicks a link on YouTube, it probably will send the refer information. Spring boot get refer. Yeah, refer. That's just called a referrer. Okay, that's fine. Let's do a refer. Let's attach that one as a refer. I will not be able to test this one unless I put a URL somewhere. But that's fine. We can always test this later, right? And yeah, HTTP headers, Alexander says. Let me see HTTP headers from Spring. Yeah, okay, thank you. I am much happier with this thing. Refer, and yeah, this is going to be custom, so it's not going to be under any standard headers. Yeah, so I think I should test this by doing a request from some sort of another request thingy. There used to be Postman, but I really hate Postman after they've changed to the cloud model, and Postman generally sucks now. It just is very, very slow. But there was this puppy thing, Postman alternative. Yeah, I was searching for some alternatives. Damn it, how is it called? How's it called? Bruno, yeah, that's the one that I was looking for. I think I should have it installed. Yes, I do. There we go. Bruno, open source IDE, blah, 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 blah. Let's create a... Yeah, actually, my Spring project is fine. Let's create a new request. That is gonna be redirect. That's gonna be get HTTP localhost 8080 slash, and then that's gonna be my URL from the list. It's this one. Create. And we can define some custom headers. So if I add a user agent, let's do or does it add it automatically? Let's see. Maybe it adds it automatically, but the one that I'm looking for is X original IP. Value is gonna be whatever. Let's try 10/8. Okay. Oh, there was actually a breakpoint. I can check it out right now. Request get header X original IP. And yes, we do have that. So let's continue. And now there should be a click tracked in the database. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and it pre-fills the user agent. So under the hood, Bruno uses Axios 172. We can also try a refer. Let's do a referrer. Let's say this was youtube.com. I don't know why this is erroring out, but it does register clicks. It's trying to... Oh, maybe because it's redirecting it. Oh, hey, we have some new people joining. Hello, is this the second part? Yes, this is the second part. Oh, haha, you always use my video to set up SSH. Nice, I actually just used my video today on how to set up SSH because I was setting up GitHub, so I do use that myself. Thanks. And yeah, hello, Matteo. Hey, we are getting some people. This is starting to feel like a party. Love it. All right, let's see if it logged. Yep, and it also logged the referrer. Great. Yeah, so I think this warrants a commit. Yeah, I think I have some unused dependencies. So we have tracking entity, that's fine. Tracking service, that's fine. URL resolve controller. Yeah, okay, everything is in use. Let's do a git add, git commit, log track referrer IP user agent. Okay, so any ideas on what I should be doing next with this one? Because there are a couple of options. One is to create a better UI, and another one is actually creating pagination for that list thingy. So just let me know which one you'd like better, UI or pagination. And while I'm waiting for your response, I'm gonna have a bite of the sandwich. I am not eating those fast enough. This tea is getting quite cold now. Pagination. Let's do pagination. All right, awesome. Let's do that. That's actually what I also wanted to do because I'm not a UI guy. Okay. So pagination, pagination, pagination. That is going to be quite simple because Spring already gives you the tools to make it. So in the resource repository, what we need to do is, I think we just need to create another method, or maybe it comes with pagination by default. Let me check. Either way, what we will need to do in the list controller is we are going to need to pass in a pageable from, no, not a pageable, a page request. Yeah, that's the one. We're gonna need a page request. So this should allow us to get what we need, and URL list service, get resources. This is also gonna need a page request. And does it already come with a pageable? Yes, it does. So page request is a type of pageable, yes? Yes, it is. And I think that's it. Let's do a test real quick. I think that's pretty much it for this one. So list, bad request because we haven't set the required parameters, right? Validation fail for argument 1. Field in object page request on field page number. Yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. Instead of doing this thing where it allows everything to go in, I think it also has like filters and stuff. I'm gonna make some custom query params here, and I'm gonna build page request myself. Page request off, so page number and page size. Query what was it? Was it request param? Required false. And this one is going to be called, this one's going to be, we also need a default value of, this is going to be a page. So I want this int page. Let's make this a little bit more neat. And I should just hard code the page size, I think. Let's do 25, and we can always make that configurable later. Or actually, let me just do a, let me move this up, and I'm gonna choose page size 1. That's because I want to test it out. Why is it complaining again? Method page failed to convert string to int for input string. That's because the default value is an empty string. Now it should not fail. Yep. Okay, so page is actually 0 indexed. So let's change that to 0. Yeah, we need to recompile that one. Yep. And now if I do question mark page equals 1, this already paginates the thingy. So next I need to do the buttons. And in order for me to do the buttons, this resource list needs to return not a list, but a pageable. Ooh, and now that's gonna be a little bit more interesting now. And that's because we are getting a pageable here from resources, but we will need to create our own return pageable. So instead of resource list item, I need a pageable with resource list items. Let me think. Pageable of size. Okay, does anybody have ideas how to create a custom pageable? I remember I used to do that, but I think that was kind of a hack. Spring Boot return custom pageable. Let me just search for pageable. It's going to be a little bit easier. Response entity page. Page. It is an interface, right? So I cannot instantiate that. But it does have a page impl. Content. Yeah, that's more like it. List content. So can I just do this? And we get a pageable from page request. And we do need a total. So for the total, we need another query. But I think that is going to be in the repository already. So resource repository count, we do have that. And all I need to do is just... So it's not a pageable, it's actually going to be a page, I think. Return page. There we go. What's that shortcut to clean imports? Yeah, that's the one. That is Control-Alt-O. Or I'm actually on the Mac, so that's Control-Option-O. Yeah, and now I will need to change, or actually I think the page is iterable, so let's see if this works out of the box with the view. It might or it might not. Yep, it works. So the page is iterable. Great. And I think the page interface also has everything that we need to make the pagination buttons. So this is going to be quite fun. Let's see. So let's go to list. And this was the hard-coded pagination made by Jibbity. th if how am I calling that? I think it's a resource list. Instead of calling this resource list, I'm going to call this resource page, because that is actually what it is now, because we refactored that one. Resource page has previous, I think. I can always debug that and see. Yeah, and also my controller right here is resource page, and let's refactor this one to be resource page. And this one is get resource page. So that's a little bit more sensible. Actually, we also have resource page right here. So let me just breakpoint that here. And if we go to Arc and we refresh, let's inspect the resource page. Is dot content, oh, it's dot pageable. Resource page dot pageable. Wait, no, this is the, huh? Okay, so it does have those methods, but those are methods. So it has previous, has next, page. What is the current page? How do I find the current page? Probably from a pageable object. Okay, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. List has previous. So if it has previous, we are showing the previous button. If it has next, we're going to show the next button. Page 1 of that's going to have a th text of resource page. Oh yeah, also, yeah, I stopped that. Let me refresh it again. Let's break it here. Refresh. What options do we have? Streams and stuff. Content is a list. Ooh, wow, get converted content. I didn't know about this one. Never used it. Get a number and number of elements. But does it do a page number? Let's download the documentation. Dot total. Yeah, but dot total, is that a total of pages or total of resources? Of course, I'm paginating this as one item per page, so I need to change that. Let's do it like this: 2 items per page. Let's shorten some more URLs. What else can we shorten? Yeah, let's do another one for my coding channel. Let's go back to list. And dot total, yeah, that is the total results. And I really don't want to do any math if I can avoid it. Resource page. Is last, is first, is empty, has previous, has content. Can do get size and then divide by that. Get number. So this is a page number, yeah? Yeah, this is a page number. Get total pages. Get total pages. Why is it returning 3? Page 1 of 3 contains blah 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 blah. Content size. Oh yeah, that's because because I didn't recompile this one. That's fine. Get total pages. That's what I was looking for. So if we are back into this thing right here, so resource page dot get number +1 because it is 0 indexed, and off is gonna be th text resource page dot, actually this is a getter, so it should work like this: number and total pages. And that is too far to the right. It's gonna start voting for Hitler soon, so let's just make it such. And I think that this should work. Let me remove the breakpoint here. Page 1 of 2 containing blah 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 blah. Yeah, continue. Page 1 of 2. Page 2 of 2. And we are getting those links. Oh, we need to make the buttons work now. Let's do that real quick. Button. This is probably not going to be a button. This is going to be an anchor. Did you know that A stands for anchor? I didn't a couple of years ago. THRF. And this is going to be list. Ooh, how do I do this? Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I'm gonna Google it. What I'm looking for. Fime leaf query params THRF. Something like that. List. Would this work? Page is a resource. Page number. Yeah, it's not going to be a number -1 because it is 0 indexed. So if we are just, so current page is number +1 and the previous page is just number. And next page is going to be number +2. So yeah, the joys of 0 indexing things. Will this work? Actually, no. Wait, I didn't do the next button, so let me just do a list page equals 1. Okay, so I see on the bottom left of the screen that is actually, it's rendering something, but I don't know if it's rendering it correctly, because I don't think that it is. Or I could just do it like this. This is cleaner. I wonder what the pipe does, but yeah, let's try it like that. So what's it gonna be? It's gonna be an add pipe page, list page, and then that is a variable, and that is this one. Oh, it's a variable pipe, and then it's the curly brace. Let's see. So maybe it does need a -1, as you said. Yep, okay. That is fascinating. Okay, anyway, beats me. But let's do that thingy for next. Refresh. Refresh. Oh, forgot to make this into an anchor. Ta-da! Let's try and shorten more URLs. Ooh, it's allowing me to shorten empty strings. That's not good. We're gonna fix that soon. List. Okay, 5 pages. Yeah, but this seems to work. This seems to work fine. So I could make this more sophisticated, but for my purposes, that is totally fine. All right, I think this warrants a commit. Actually, before I do that, let me just increase the page size. I think like 50 URLs is gonna be fine. Because 2 were just for testing. Git add, git commit, add pagination to list, to resource list. Center the page numbers and it will be perfect. Yeah, it could. I could center them. I'm not gonna bother right now because I'm gonna change the style and the whole design later. This is just a work in progress. And yes, what did I say? I was going to fix the I was going to make a URL required. So if we are shortening request param URL says required true, but does this only need a validated? It probably only needs that. Or does it only work with like pojos and stuff? We're gonna find out. Nope, still works. Nope. Is it validated on the method? It should throw at some point, right? Come on. Okay, let's make this real dumb. Let's just add a required attribute to HTML, and that's gonna fix all of our problems, right? Don't do this in production. You will get burned. Yeah, okay. So now this works. Yep, I guess I could make it more pretty and much better, but that is going to be it for this stream. We are 1.5 hours in, and tomorrow is a work day. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining again. It was lovely having you here. Thanks for being active on the chat. I love to see that. It's really nice that somebody is watching and participating. So yes, let's do this sometime soon. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this tomorrow or if I'm gonna be doing this after New Year's, but I need another video on my coding channel to have 3 videos and I can start monetizing my channel. So yeah, I will probably either release a video that I have somewhere in the works or I will make a stream. I don't know. We're gonna see about that. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining and I will see you next time.